Hello and good evening to Madam and everyone. My name is Muhammad Syarul AIMAN HANIZAM. Today I'm going to present my assignment 2. Assignment 2 is about body system. Body system is a location system and algorithm which is larger memory block is divided into smaller part to satisfy the request. Benefit of this technique is the two body can combine to form the block of larger size according to the memory request. Okay. Why use body system? Body system is easy to implement and efficient than dynamic allocation. If the partition size and process are different, then poor match occur and may use space inefficiently and it will become wasted. There are 4 types of body system: binary body system, Fibonacci body system, weighted body system, and tertiary body system. For assignment 2, there are 4 questions. Explain about memory management, differentiate between fixed partitioning and dynamic partitioning, body system with example, and body system binary tree with example. Okay. First, explain about memory management. Memory management is function to manage primary memory, help the process to move back and forth between main memory and execution memory, help to locate memory management to keep track of the processes. Memory management can be found in hardware such as hard disk and solid state drive. Also, operating system. Question 2. Differentiate between fixed partitioning and dynamic partitioning. Fixed partitioning. In fixed partition, a fixed memory is allocated to a drive and cannot be easily expanded. Memory utilization is not done in effective manner because we don't know how much memory we will require for a particular task before performing. Sometimes it will result to a waste. Dynamic partition. Dynamic partition can change its size when it is required to. Here, memory utilization become more effective and dynamically as per requirement. So we move to question 3. Question 3, body system with example. So we have block here, a physical memory, 1024 megabyte. So there are 4 process, A, B, and C. Process A request 120 megabyte, B request 32 megabyte, C request 64 megabyte, and D request 180 megabyte. So how to do it? Okay, first question, process A, we divide the 1024 into 2, so we get 512. So it is still too big for process A, so we divide 512 into 2, so we get 256. Next, it is still too big, so we divide 556 into 2, so we get 128. So 128 partition, here partition, and here is also 128 partition. So it is sufficient. It is enough for process A. So process A will be put in the first block of 128 partition. So the leftover is 8 megabyte. So the 8 megabyte will become the internal fragmentation here. So process B, same as process A, will look and divide. So we divide by 500. We divide by 2. It's still too big. So we can use the memory here. The 128 memory. It's still too big for process B. So we divide by 2. So we can get here. The first partition is 64, and here also 64. So 64 here is still too big. So we can divide it by 2. So we divide by 2, so we can get 32. So it is sufficient for process B. So we put here. So here is 32 and here also is 32. So process B can be put here. So next we move to process C. Process C requests 64 megabyte. So we'll look from 512 and above. So here is too big, so we can use the partition here. We can use the 64, the 64 partition here for process C. So C will be put here because it is sufficient. So next, process D. Process D require 180 megabyte. So we already have here 256 megabyte. So if we divide it, it will become 128. It is less than 180. So we'll be put the process D here at the 256 megabyte block. So the leftover will become internal fragmentation. So we add 4 more process, and there is we release C and we release B. We add 2 more process, E and F. E requests 100 megabyte, F requests 200 megabyte. So if we release B and C, okay, if we release B and C here, so if we really B and C here, the process here will become no process here, so the memory here, it will become one, it will merge, and it will become 128 block, 128 megabyte block of memory. So it is sufficient for process E. So at the memory block of B and C here, the last time is B and C. So after we release B and C, it will become one block of larger. So 100 megabyte will sufficient here. So process F, okay, process F, above here we already have the process, so we cannot put other process into region here. So we move to the lower part of the block memory. So we use the same concept, is we divide by 2, 512 divided by 2, so we can get here 556, 256 here. So it is sufficient for process F. So we put the process F here. So the leftover, it will become internal fragmentation. So question D, binary system, body system binary tree with example. So we copy back the block memory here. From the block of memory here, we can create the binary tree. So first we create a circle. We name it as 2 to the power of 10 equal to 1204. So we split the block here. First splitting of the block, it will become 512. So for 512 is here, 2 to the power of 9. So at the first block of 512, we divide 2 again. Here is 256, okay, and 256 we divide again, so it will become 128 megabyte here. So the process is, you divide the block memory, the block of memory, according to this block of memory here, so we can create the binary tree. So process the shade here is occupy means there is a process in this circle, in this block. So this is process A, this is process E, this is A, this is E. So process D is located at here. within the 256 megabyte. So the process F is here 200, and the shaded here is for free. So that is how. So shaded here is free, so it is occupy. Occupy, 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 and occupy, and this is free. Occupies mean there is a process. The process here is A, E, D, and F. So that is how you create a binary tree for body system. So that's all from me. Thank you.